Most couples don't get stuck because they have big problems. They get stuck because they try to solve the problem in a way that makes it worse. And that trap has a name in relationship science, the mutual trap. But the good news is this trap can be fixed with acceptance and a couple therapy model called IBCT. Today I'll show you what acceptance actually means and what it doesn't. The difference between ACT, acceptance theory, and IBCT, and the 4-step IBCT roadmap that helps couples stop escalating and start feeling like a team again. By the way, I'm Timon from Real Relationship. I help couples fight less and feel closer after baby. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button. So let's start simple. Acceptance means I'm willing to be with what's happening internally or externally without instantly fighting, escaping, or numbing it. Internal acceptance means you notice and allow an emotion in the present moment. Not because you like the emotion, but because when you stop running from it, it stops controlling you. If you must avoid certain emotions like anxiety, shame, or loneliness, those emotions secretly run your life, and you'll automatically distract yourself by scrolling, overeating, gaming, working non-stop, porn, alcohol, anything that gives short-term relief. Acceptance is not fixing the feeling, it's simply acknowledging this is here right now. And that alone often reduces the intensity. External acceptance means I can accept that you experience this differently than I do. It's accepting your partner's viewpoint, your partner's emotion in this moment, and even reality as it is, like politics, AI, and other external factors. Acceptance pulls you out of automatically fight, flight, freeze and back into intentional choice. So what is acceptance not? This part is important. Acceptance does not mean this is good. I want this, I approve, this will never change. Acceptance also does not mean you label yourself like I'm an angry person. That's identity, not acceptance. And it's not a future prediction like I'll be sad forever. That's just a story your brain tells. The opposite of acceptance is experiential avoidance. Avoiding pain now, which creates bigger pain later. For example, avoid studying, short-term comfort, long-term stress. Avoid exercise, short-term comfort, long-term body pain. Eat sugar daily to numb emotions, short-term relief, long-term health consequences. Avoidance turns pain into suffering. So how can you train acceptance? If you want to train it, you can do it, for example, through breathing. That calms your nervous system, because if your heartbeat goes over 100 per minute, you start more and more to react impulsive. Another one is meditation and being mindful. That helps to observe your emotions instead of fighting them. By observing your emotions goes naturally away after a time. And by practice with small emotions daily, not only in big moments, because the goal is not perfection. The goal is to increase your ability to stay present when life gets uncomfortable. ACT versus acceptance theory versus IBCT. Now let's clear up the confusion, because people mix these terms all the time. ACT means acceptance and commitment therapy. It's usually individual therapy. It focused on accepting internal experiences, so thoughts and emotions. So you can live based on your values, not your fear. ACT is amazing for anxiety, overthinking, shame, or emotional avoidance. But ACT is not specifically designed as a couple therapy model. IBCT means Integrative Behavioral Couple Therapy. It's a couple therapy developed by Andrew Christensen and Neil Jacobson. IBCT combines practical change strategies like communication and agreements and acceptance strategies, so you stop trying to force change your partner. When people say acceptance theory in relationships, they usually mean this IBCT idea. Many couples have real stable incompatibilities. Closeness versus independence, structure versus spontaneity, security versus freedom. The problem is rarely the difference itself. The real problem is the polarization process. Each person reacts in a way that pushes the other person into a more extreme position. And that creates the mutual trap. Both partners try to solve the relationship, but the solution makes the relationship worse. Let me break it down. In the beginning of a relationship, we often see each other through rose-colored glasses. Everything feels perfect. We don't see each other's flaws. We accept our partner as they are. But over time, acceptance can drop and the mutual trap begins. So the first stage is incompatibility or theme. She values order and control because it creates safety and clarity. He values freedom and autonomy because it creates dignity and space. The second stage is trigger and meaning. She sees something left out, like a blade on the table. To her, it means I'm alone in this. I have to carry everything. So she criticizes or comments. That's her solution. More control, more pushing. To him, it feels like I'm being treated like a child. I'm being controlled. Like I'm back with my mother. So he uses his solution. He gets annoyed, cleans it up, and withdraws. So what happens next? She experiences withdrawal as abandonment. See, I'm alone. You always run away. So she escalates. More anger, more pressure, more pursuing. He experienced that as control and disrespect. Nothing I do is enough. So he escalates too. More distance, more shut down, sometimes yelling back. That's the mutual trap. The more she controls, the more he needs freedom. The more he withdraws, the more she needs control. It becomes a never-ending cycle. They are not enemies, they are both trapped inside the same system. Important to understand is that you are not fighting about the blade, you're fighting about what the blade represents. So how to fix that? One way is IBCT. Here's the IBCT process in a simple 4-step roadmap. Step 1 is identify and reframe the incompatibility. The goal is to move from you're wrong to we have a pattern, a difference, emotional triggers, stress and a loop. So you name the theme or incompatibility like order versus freedom, the pattern, criticize versus withdraw, and the trap, both solution backfires. She criticizes, he withdraw. Through withdraw, she feels more abundant, and through abandonment, she criticizes more. And through that, he withdraw more, and so on and so on. And the reframe is this difference makes sense. It's not her fault, she uses control to feel safe. And it's also not his fault because he uses distance to feel free. Those are learned protection strategies from the past. The problem is not that you are different, the problem is your pattern translating difference into threat. The second step is unified detachment. This means you zoom out together and you turn the fight into a shared analyze. You describe the problem as it and we have a pattern with instead of you always. You focus on sequence. So for example, when I see the blade, trigger, I feel overwhelmed and alone, meaning, so I make a comment, reaction. When I hear the comment, trigger, I feel controlled and disrespected, meaning, so I escape, reaction. Now it becomes we are teammates investigating a loop. The third step is empathic joining. Now you go underneath anger into the softer truths, because anger often protects fear, shame, loneliness, feeling not enough. So instead of you're so lazy, it becomes when you don't help, I feel alone and I'm scared, I can't rely on anyone. Or instead of you're controlling, it becomes when I'm criticized, I feel like I'm never enough and I'm scared you won't accept me. This creates softness because your partner finally sees the human under the armor. And the fourth and last step is tolerance building. Sometimes you're not ready for full acceptance. So you build tolerance and you reduce reactivity by doing the following things. First, finding realistic upsides in a trade. Every trade has a pro and a con, always. For example, order creates clarity and freedom creates freshness and adventure. Second is self-soothing in the moment, like breathing, pause, calming down. That brings you in a state of calm and clarity, which helps you to understand your partner better and to remember why he acts like this in this situation. And the last one is micro exposure, staying present in small doses instead of escalating or fleeing. Most couples don't need more pressure. They need a better translator. Because when your nervous system reads your partner as a threat, you go into fight, flight or freeze mode. But when you reframe the difference, name the pattern, share the vulnerable truth and calm your reactivity, you stop being opponents and you're becoming a team again. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and we see each other in the next video. Bye bye.